Hello, Kendall from Reddit Whiskey with a recap of my first attack from this war, and I hope you guys don't get bored, but this is going to be the same attack I've done in my last two attack recaps. This is going to be a shattered GoHo with a surgical hog deployment. Shattered means you're going to have two golems. Surgical hogs means you're going to deploy your hogs around the base in either a clockwise or a counterclockwise method, just with a few hogs per defenses. So, kind of starting out the attack when you're planning a shattered attack, the two golem component of the raid is meant to accomplish two things. First, you need to get the enemy CC troops killed, and second, you have to get the enemy archer queen killed. So those are your priorities. That has to happen. There's also some other things that are a bonus if they occur. If you get a double giant bomb location taken out, that's absolutely beautiful. And on top of that, if you can get an expo taken out, that's actually great. So looking at this base, I think there's, three good double giant bomb locations here, here, and here, with a weaker double giant bomb location here, and it's weaker because it's just so easy to pop. You could send a single hog in to take care of that. But that looks like all. My guess when I was initially looking at this base, I was going to assume that they were going to be in here and here. And that's because those are the deepest of the double giant bomb locations, so they're the hardest to trigger. So that was just my guess going in. Ended up being wrong. That's kind of one of the beauties of Surgical Hog is you can get the double giant bomb locations wrong and still have get a 3-star, as you can see here. So starting out with the shattered component, as I said, we got to get the CC troops and the enemy archer queens. So really you can look at the 4 different directions you can come in the base if you've got a centered archer queen. You can come in from this direction up here, you can come in from down here, you can come in from up here, or come in up here. Well, I prefer to use a rage instead of a jump spell, simply because I think that's easier if you're not pulling the CC troops. And in this attack, when you're using 2 golems, usually you're not going to be pulling the CC troops. So rage helps with my skeletons for my witches, along with my heroes, which are going to end up taking out the CC troops. So if you're coming in from this direction over here, we'll kind of count them down. Actually, we'll start up here at the top. So coming in from, we'll call it the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock area. The problem with coming in here is the wall breaker deployment. I can get into this area really quickly, but then I'm worried that wall breakers might go to here, could go to over here. I've got a lot of different places I have to get busted before they get in enough that I'm probably going to get into this compartment over here. So I turned that one off. Looking again, maybe it would have been okay. The other thing that's bad up here is all of these storages. You're using your Archer Queen to kind of take out the CC troops, and your Archer Queen is going to get stuck up on storages. So this is a little weaker to come from the top here, because that means you're going to have to get all these storages taken out on the way down here to help out. Next was coming from over here, and initially when I was first planning the attack, I was planning on doing that because I wanted to remove one of these double giant bomb locations, but I thought it was just going to be too far to try to get my troops all the way in, get wall breakers all the way into this compartment. Plus, then you've got the town hall you have to get through before you can get to the enemy archer queen if your barbarian king dies before it gets there. Moving down to here, this one was simply compartments and storages again. 4 different high defense storages. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4 compartments just to get up to here, and maybe even 5 or 6 depending on how wall breakers pass. So that kind of left me here, and I thought this was potentially the easiest way to come in for the shattered component. It's closest to the archer queen. Most likely she's going to be sitting in this compartment right here, and I've really only got these 2 storages to worry about, and then this one over here kind of, but that's going to be okay. I've still got minimal over here. So that was the plan, and really what you want to do when you're planning out the surgical component of that is you want to use your golems when you deploy them to first distract defenses so you can break the trash ring. So, the big 2 defenses that I've got to distract here are the mortar along with this cannon. This archer tower really doesn't play any impact until you get into here. I guess this mortar also is going to be a little bit of an issue once you get a little bit farther down, but one Wizzy will be able to kill an army camp before a mortar can take it out. Over here, cannon is actually distracted once you've got a golem down here, so the plan initially was I was going to send in, actually let me clear that out so we don't have any borders here. I was going to send a golem in this direction, and a golem in this direction. And that way I was going to have enough of a spread that I was going to be able to send a wizard here, along with a wizard here, and a wizard here. I think that's how I deployed that. So that I would get the trash ring broken on this side. Basically what you do, you get the golems down, you get your wizards down, you don't have to wait at all, then you immediately get the archer queen down and your 2 witches. And the reason you want to do that is you want to have them go ahead and start taking out some of these buildings, and then they're also going to move forward and start working on some of this trash here. From there, the goal was I was going to send in 3 wall breakers, and I wanted to try to hit this corner, because if I could hit this corner, it would blow up not only this wall here, but this wall here because of the splash, and I would get into both compartments. End up not working. Wall breakers never cooperate with me, but that was the initial plan. From there, once you've got that component done, the next thing you want to do is you want to get your rage spell down. And I wanted the rage spell. The goal was I needed eventually my wall breakers to get all the way here, so I kind of wanted the rage spell. I know it's horrible placement, but I was going to basically drop it kind of like right there, so that the circle would go around and I'd have enough for wall breakers to get all the way into this compartment. From there, it's really dependent on what you deploy next is ultimately whether or not you pulled the CC troops or not. If the golems have moved far enough, or the wall breakers, if the golems move far enough away that the CC troops are already coming out, you can go ahead and send your Barbarian King in. If they haven't, then it's probably better to go ahead and send the wall breakers in. You do have to be a little careful though. You've got a wizard tower here. You need to make sure the wizard tower is focused on the golem so that your wall breakers get all the way in. And it would really help if the archer queen is too, because she can take those out. Rage helps a little bit, but you always bring a lot of wall breakers. I have 8 wall breakers. So basically rage goes down, and then it's either your Barbarian King or your wall breakers, but you do them quick enough that even if you did one before the other, it's not going to ruin everything. Just the ideal if you're getting from there. And then from there, basically you go ahead and start your hog deployment. If you've got a lower level Barbarian King, you might have to wait till you pop the ability, just so you make sure it doesn't go down. But in the end, you want to get the hogs deployed as quickly as possible, because you're going to use your hogs to kind of overwhelm the defenses. So next component of that is, and obviously you've got 2 different ways you could have done the hog deployment. You could have started up here and moved this direction, or you could have started down here and moved this direction, because you want to do either a clockwise or a counterclockwise method. I chose to start down here because that was going to be the fastest way to get to the expo, because the expo is, and again, it's probably half and half is what it really comes down to. Plus I expected the double giant bombs to be here and here, so I wanted to make sure I kind of got this double giant bomb set taken out as early as possible. So that was part of my other reason to kind of start this direction. And then really what you're going to do is your goal. Now I actually brought a giant here, and you can do this. There's 3-point defenses right here. A giant has basically twice the health of a hog, so whenever you've got kind of 3-point defenses, you can send a giant into tank first before you start your hogs, and then you can get away with delaying your heal. Now you're going to see I screw this up, but that's kind of the idea there. I don't really have, I guess right here I could have done another giant and 3 hogs, but the way the hogs are going to be kind of pathing around this way, this archer tower is going to be shooting at the ones in the mortar. Maybe it would have worked out all right, but it gets tough having to switch back between giants and hogs. And if I had sent giant here and giant here, this giant would have died before I ever had a chance of getting the hogs this far up because of the expo so close. So basically I started with 1 giant, and then you do hogs. And you do kind of 3 hogs, especially the very first defense you're doing. Point defenses, cannons have higher health, so 3. You probably could have got away with 2 right here, though. I think I do 2 there, simply because this archer tower is going to be shooting at the giant. That would have worked out fine. Splash defense 2, then you kind of do 3, and then basically once you've got 3 to 5 groups down, then you kind of have to stop and heal. Now you're going to see I goof up a little bit because I have a Tesla pop. And that's something else I should have probably mentioned. Whenever you've got a Tesla that pops, you probably just need to throw another hog or 2 at it. But then you kind of just stop. You look how your hog deployment's doing, and you see whether or not you need to heal or not. Ideally, I wanted to kind of wait on my first heal. I probably rushed it, though, a little bit. And then from there, you don't want to stop long enough, though, that you start watching hogs. You need to just take a quick glance and then immediately start your hog deployment again. And that's a good time, too, to make sure your heroes don't need to pop their ability. From there, kind of 3 hogs, 3 hogs, 2 hogs if you've got enough left. It's hard to say exactly how many you're going to have because it depends on where Tesla pops and how your deployment goes. But, that's kind of the ultimate goal. And then you just kind of watch for your heals. I expected I was going to have a heal here because of the expo, and I also thought the double giant bomb was there. Ended up not being the case. Once you see the raid, you're going to see that they don't actually pop there. But, that's the kind of plan. I think you should have an idea where you want to heal, but you have to be fairly flexible with this raid. So, we're going to kind of jump into here and we'll get to the replay, and I think that'll kind of point out a little better what I was trying to explain. So I get the golems down. You're going to see one there, one there. I get a little bit worried because that one looks like it's about to go on a walkabout to this archer tower, but it doesn't. You're going to see then I get the wizards to break the trash ring. You'll notice when I drop the wizard, I drop the outside wizard first and then the inside. And the reason for that is, and I'm doing it up here also, is ultimately what's going to happen is this wizard's going to go down, this is going to go down, it's going to then help out there, and then hopefully it's going to kind of span out, and these two then will also start to work inwards to help you with the clan castle troops. So get your 2 wizards down, immediately get my archer queen down, and then get the 2 witches down. And I don't stagger the witches like I normally do. I get my 3 wall breakers in, and they just, I don't know why they split like that, but they did. So I don't get this wall down. Got them going in though. Archer Queen comes over, starts helping on this storage, exactly what you want. CC troops start coming out. Unfortunately, it's all air troops, so my Barbarian King's not going to be a whole lot of help here, but I've already got it thrown down because I saw troops coming out. And then you're going to see from there, I drop my 5 wall breakers. And wall breakers are all kind of coming in. It looks like they just get through. I don't actually get all the way to the center building, but I get in far enough. So from there, my Archer Queen standing in the rage takes out the dragon. Barbarian King takes out the enemy Archer Queen, and now I've already started my hog deployment. So I've got a giant down here. A Tesla pops, and this actually worries me a little bit. I see the Tesla, and I throw a heal. I shouldn't have done that. I had the giant tanking. I didn't need the heal, but, you make those mistakes sometimes. So then I just kind of keep throwing down. I had a Tesla popped here, so I threw some more hogs at it, and I go and throw another heal down here because I've got this expo shooting. Get really lucky here. Only hit one of those giant bombs. You want to see the most important hog that I got in was the one that jumped up to this wizard tower because it tested for that double giant bomb spot. Ended up not being a double giant bomb spot there, so I waited on my raid, and then I know the last double giant bomb spot's got to here, so I go ahead and throw my heal down. You see giant bomb hits, and another giant bomb's going to hit, but they're already fully in heal, or fully in under the heal, so that's going to be it. So that's the kind of surgical hogs. The order deployment, I'll kind of go through it again here while we're watching the very last to clean up. You get your golems down initially to protect for your kills, or your wizzies that are breaking the trash ring. If you get a base that you don't, minions work because there's no air defense, that works even better because then you don't have to wait on the golems. You can just put the minions down first. But you get the golems down, drop your wizards to break the trash ring, immediately get the Archer Queen and witches down, follow that with your wall breakers. Once they're in, get the rage spell down. If the CC troops are already coming out, get your Barbarian King down. If not, get the wall breakers in, then the Barbarian King. You're going to do those so close to each other, they're fine one way or the other. And then finally, you start your hog deployment. So that's it. I really like this attack. I'm having more and more fun with it. I think it's a great attack. It doesn't work against every base, but it happens to be very strong against these, anti-3-star layouts that are fairly spread out like that. So I hope this helped. I hope I covered everything clearly. If there's any questions or comments, please leave them below. And thank you very much for watching.